What you say?
It is a joke. We said he's going to give a bad presentation, so you all look really good if you present today. Is that funny or not really?
Not really.
I'm weak.
I'm
I'm
gonna tell
glad.
you what is coming up
What?
after I present.
Why?
I'm,
You see how much respect we get with our.
I'm gonna join YouTube.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, she speaks for me.
Let me do this. This gentleman, Officer Pratt, drove 7.5 hours to meet with you. Anybody from Wisconsin or?
No, I'm just playing.
Damn.
I'm very surprised.
I was just playing. I'm from there.
Where are you from?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Did you say fortunately?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Dang, poor Dave.
And he talking about
Nah, y'all.
It's
So do you want lights on or no lights on?
How you feeling? You feeling a little? How you feeling a little?
There used to be a commercial about like I ate my kids' Frosted Flakes, and they would do it in the dark room like this, and they'd say like, it was like an embarrassing, so they had all the lights off. That's what it feels like to me.
What's happening right now? What's happening right now? What's going on?
Can you keep the lights off the whole time?
Sometimes,
It's much cooler in here than it is upstairs.
right, it is. I am open to, I can take a vote on it whenever majority rules, lights or no lights.
Did we need a video on our presentation?
You don't need one.
I say no light.
So we doing no lights.
Okay,
I can see.
as long as Officer Pratt's okay.
All right, you want me to start?
Yes, sure.
So I'm Charles Pratt. I'm a police officer for the City of Madison Police Department. We're here on a recruiting visit. So we're at the career fair over at what do you call that building?
Student center.
Student Center. So we're over there. My partner's over there now, manning our table, but I've done a couple presentations for Jonathan here. So I'm going to just do a kind of this little presentation I have for police and social work. I work as a mental health officer, so it's kind of a position within the police department where you kind of act as very much like a police social worker. So kind of in your realm, if you ever think about it. We have a lot of police officers who used to be social workers or got social work degrees. Generally, I would say that all the social workers I work with usually get paid more, kind of have more job security, standard hours, stuff like that. So there's definitely some pros to both of those. So just to go through, so I didn't really ever think I would be a police officer when I was in your guys' shoes in college. I went to college at the University of Pittsburgh. I grew up in New York, and to be a paramedic. And so I got hired as a paramedic after college, worked there for a couple years, got really interested in kind of mental health, but didn't want to be in a hospital all day. So I decided to become a police officer because I saw through my paramedic lens that, like most people who, when the first responders to mental health crises, were almost always police officers. So I ended up doing that, and then I moved to Wisconsin to join the police department, partly because of the mental health unit. So we'll discuss some things, police and social work. I've noticed through working with social workers that often I think they kind of, the educational paths or just the paths that you work in kind of get very siloed. So you don't collaborate as much as probably we should, or just don't think about collaborating as much as we should. So it's kind of do that. So there's just a lot of things really that police and social work together. So mental health commitment's an obvious one. We do a lot of that. Obviously, suicide attempts, mental health in general. And also domestic abuse, child abuse cases, crises, stuff like that. I mean, those are all things that we have to work together a lot with. ABA issues of drug and alcohol abuse, so there's a lot of really police are very much like the first responders to almost all social ills in the world. You have firemen for fires, you have paramedics for medical incidents, but anything beyond that, which is really most of the problems in the world, is police, and then you guys. So, also very similar professional challenges. So we got to respond to these mental health emergencies that are kind of very, tough to define and not so clear cut as medical emergencies are. And so you got to kind of work through that. We also have like shift work, duty work. We have to be on call, 24/7 in a lot of cases. You also have to kind of often result, if you're going into CPS or something, some sort of power and control over kind of situation. You also have to triage calls because you never have enough people really to work to respond to everything. You got to have a lot of responsibility and ownership, subject to a lot of scrutiny and second guessing. And then obviously there's always these concerns for liability because you have to make these really tough decisions that don't always work out well, no matter how hard we try. But obviously there's some differences. Police usually is a very command structure, paramilitary structure. I would say our police department's actually pretty militaristic comparably, but still kind of there. We also kind of are more call driven, looking for short-term solutions to problems, to kind of fix it to the end of your shift sort of deal. We also kind of have more public responsibility to the public versus like the individual patient. So like in social work, you probably have a patient and you want to help that patient, fix that patient's problems and work with them to make their life better, versus our responsibility is probably more with the public to make the public generally, the community generally a safer place, not necessarily fixing that one person's problem. And obviously, I think one major difference to social work is that you get a lot more specialized training. So if you are if you end up working in the mental health field as like a therapist, that's the training you'll go into and that's the work you'll do. Versus like a police officer, might have to kind of use some of those skills one day and then use a bunch of different skills on, the 5 other calls they have in the same day. So it's a much more, jack of all trades sort of job. Obviously, so we talked about the difference in the goals. So obviously, police's job is to kind of restore order, make things safe, kind of in that initial responsibility, and it's much more law-driven, policy-driven, oftenly, and kind of a little bit more structured. And there's also a very efficiency goal of that, versus social work is more clinical assessment, kind of longer term, more best practices. Kind of your education has a lot bigger role than like the policies necessarily through the laws. And so there's some barriers, right? So you kind of think of what I said. There's police are a little bit more acute. Social work is more chronic, looking at chronic problems. Police are more immediate, fixing that immediate safety problem versus the long-term treatment needs. And then of course, our goal is have probably the most secure option. It makes us feel that the police feel best, but the least restrictive outcome is kind of what their goal is more. And so we kind of talk about, I'm sure you've hopefully read or been taught about how jails are often kind of like the number one mental health treatment facilities, or it's not really treatment in a lot of ways, but are where like a lot of people with mental health illnesses end up being housed. There's a lot of reasons for that, deinstitutionalization, all sorts of things. You can read multiple books, I'm sure, but basically, it's often a very tough situation in the field, and I think understanding kind of both those needs is often somebody will present with a mental or have a mental illness, but make a conscious decision to do something criminal, and it's really tough to know which way you should go with this. There's always kind of this problem of how much you can allow for the community to be safe, but how much you can allow and what you can actually do based on the laws of where you are. These are kind of some things, has the person received adequate treatment already, and have they gotten all these chances and treatment for their mental illness, and yet they still continue to do this dangerous activity? Is there maybe like some problem or some more punitive measure will that actually help the situation or help them, motivate them to kind of right their issues. And of course, we have a lot of system issues that you guys are going to encounter when you go on into the world. So, obviously we have this, healthcare system that's, very complicated and difficult to manage and doesn't really work well for a lot of people in this world. And those are probably the people we're gonna mostly be working with. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. Lack of placement options, community safety plans unavailable, all these long facilities they have to drive, 2, 3, 4 hours away to get into. So it's a lot of issues with that. So some different ideas moving forward when you go out in the field and you end up having to work with police or become a police officer and have to work with social services. So recognize these differences we discussed already and kind of take that in mind. Also recognize that, have a kind of collaborative view of it. It's always what I recommend. I've had a number of different jobs, so I try to kind of put myself in the shoes of other providers. But it's important to notice that, there's a lot of, we're all making very difficult decisions. And I think like a lot of police officers kind of will judge like CPS or other people for not making a more definitive decision. And I think it also goes the other way that, often I'll get asked to do things that like a social worker won't be willing to do because they, or because they don't really see me as in the same, I think, human light as, or, I don't have the same empathy for my situation. So try to kind of do that. I would say also, cultivating those good working relationships. We have these embedded crisis workers, so embedded social work, crisis or mental health social workers within our police department, and they're like how they get along with the other officers is always like their communication is just so much better because the officers can actually put the space to the name. They've actually seen this person, they've met this person, they've talked with them about their family or whatever. Versus when they call the crisis unit on the phone and just get some random person that they've never seen before, they don't have the same willingness to work with them in the same way. So really going through ride-alongs, briefings, stuff like that gets your face there, and then people just have more respect in general for each other. So managing emergencies. So yeah, this is kind of just a slide out there. Just remember that if somebody's in danger, you'll hear about HIPAA, but if information is needed for somebody's immediate safety, you don't need. If it doesn't, there's an exception for that. So make sure you kind of supply the information that somebody needs to kind of know to manage that. And then, having a liaison often is good between different agencies. So if there's one person, when you go out into the world and you're working for an agency, they have to work with the police, having one person that knows who to contact in the police department, and hopefully the police department will have one person or at least a couple people like our unit to be able to contact through them. And then I just wanted to kind of speak to my unit. So we have kind of this tiered system here. We have our patrol officers, which everyone starts as, but you get this kind of CIT, crisis intervention training, as you through the academy. And then you can also, if you're a patrol officer, you can volunteer to be a mental health liaison officer, which you get 2 extra days of training every year, kind of in mental health related things. You can also apply when positions open up as a mental health officer, which is what I am, and it's a full-time kind of more follow-up based job. And then I mentioned the embedded or co-located crisis workers, work with patrol and mental health officers and kind of program coordinators, what to do. And then they're all under the community outreach section of the police department. And so here's just what we do as mental health officers. We attend these weekly meetings. We share a lot of information. We get reports routed to us by patrol officers. We kind of coordinate and follow up with different people who kind of exhibit mental health problems in our community, hopefully reducing their police contact or at least making them have more productive police contacts. And then also communicate with officers about how to best respond to situations. We do a lot of training. We do the CIT training in our academy, things like that. And then see the crisis workers, same sort of thing, very similar. So this is kind of a different thing. I mean, it very much depends on where you work, but often the level that you need to commit somebody for mental health detention is a lot higher than what you need to charge somebody with a crime, especially a low-level crime like disorderly conduct. So that often makes it tough for kind of what to do in a situation. There's often like not a choice of between arrest and such. And here's my contact information. So feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions, if you're interested in a career in policing in Madison or anywhere else, and have any questions about that.
For those that walked in late, these folks are hiring a social work police officer. They're at the career fair. I always like to throw out some of the numbers. Like, you don't have to have a finished bachelor's degree. They'll start you maybe at 40 or 50,000 a year, and then, if I'm even quoting this correctly,
61,000 is where we start at. We like to have people with bachelor's degrees, so don't drop out of school and join us. But when you're getting into that, juniors or
we do have
kind of that
seniors.
summer between your junior and senior year, or when you're seniors now, if you want to apply, our academy, it usually start once a year, and at the end of May, so kind of right after you guys graduate, so you can kind of just very easily just float right into a job where you're making 60,000 a year, and move up from there. I mean, I've been on for 6 years now, and I mean, I made 100,000 last year. I'll make 100,000 this year. I don't work that much overtime. There's officers who make 200,000 because they work a ton of overtime, so you can make a lot of money.
Social work liaison, like social work officers too.
Well, it depends. So you got to be just a regular police officer to some extent. And then there's these positions like this where you can do more kind of commute, not be so call responsive like a patrol officer. But these are kind of, I have this position for 4 years, and I would have to go back to patrol. And then there's also like neighborhood officers, which are kind of very much similar. You can make your own. There's community outreach officers. There's a bunch of different options if you don't want to be a patrol officer your whole career. So you can very much work around it.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I hope it was bad enough that
Each semester they come at the job, what's it called?
job fair.
Job fair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, usually we'll probably be back in March, whenever that is. Usually that Thursday.
There's one online question that I see that my eyes are failing. Do the social workers have to go to the police academy in order to work for the police?
No, so Journey Mental Health is what they get hired as. They get hired as they call them crisis workers, but they work. Journey is like they have the suicide hotline for the county. They also have they also do like mental health assessments. They're like the crisis center for the whole county that we're in, and they're kind of the agency that runs that. So you get hired by them as specifically for this embedded crisis worker position. It's been very hard to fill them, so it's not a terribly competitive process. We're down one, and we've been down one for over a year now. So you have to apply. I think they definitely opened up their requirements for that. I know a lot of them have MSWs, but not all of them, and they do take into mind like career experience and like life experience. I know there's somebody who used to work there who went through our police academy and then kind of decided they didn't want to do it anymore, and they ended up working there. So yeah, it's you don't need to go through the police academy. That kind of set up in the police department, which I think the crisis workers are there say it's a lot more flexible and more fun than sitting in the crisis unit answering phones all day. So.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Make sure to go visit them at the career fair right after class. It goes on till like at least 4, right?
Yep, till 4. Maybe till 4.
Okay.
We're pretty close.
Who all is presenting today? Okay. All right. See, we're on schedule. With your own computer or mine? You got somewhere to go, I can tell. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Where are you going? I know. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and we'll see you next.
Good luck. See you guys later.
See you.
Anything we can help you with? Anything we can help you with?
Shoot, if you're trying to write a check, it is.
Is it a hold on your account?
Huh?
Is it just a hold on your account?
I don't know.
Register.
I hate it.
Are you an Ohio resident?
Yes. That's why I hate it.
Are you a sophomore? How many juniors are in here?
Me,
And you're not an Ohio resident either.
I'm not.
Damn it.
I'm choosing.
Sophomore.
Everybody's sophomores.
Julio.
I liked your classroom last year. They had couches.
Oh, damn, that was nice.
Wait, like,
Yeah.
I don't think they even let us teach in there anymore.
Why not?
Probably because too much weird stuff happened on the couch.
Are you for real?
I don't know. I just
Don't be saying that.
I don't know.
like eating and stuff.
Oh. okay.
Right, right.
I'm like, what?
Right, yes.
nah, they was
We be eating in here.
blanket over them.
I don't know. No, I haven't seen a class in there. Have you guys? It's 214.
Nah, I don't know.
That's right there. Nikita has a classroom
The fancy room.
with the
With the chairs?
Yeah.
You
Oh
like
my
to eat
God,
on the
bro, they be in
couch?
there yelling every morning. The class, down how we won't be in the parents class.
A loud classroom?
Oh my gosh.
The lady who teaches English. I think it's the lady who teaches English.
Bro, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, they are yelling.
Hooping and hollering.
Oh my.
Halfway up in their class.
Maybe they're like seniors.
I think they
Yes, please.
Hi y'all. My name is Deshay Johnson and the mental health disorder I'm presenting on is bipolar disorder. Before I get started, I want to play a video so you guys can just like this is what this disorder is about, okay? I'm hoping it does sound.
Bipolar disorder is a mental health condition that affects a person's day-to-day interactions, behaviors, mood, thoughts, energy, and ability to focus. There are 3 different types of bipolar disorder: bipolar 1 disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, and cyclothymic disorder or cyclothymia. All 3 types cause symptoms of either mania or depression, or both. Some examples of manic symptoms are unusually high energy, talkativeness, distractibility, and less need for sleep. Some examples of depressive symptoms are feelings of extreme sadness, lack of energy, lack of emotions or motivation, hopelessness, and guilt. The difference between each type of bipolar disorder comes down to when they begin and how severe the manic and depressive symptoms are. Bipolar 1 disorder typically begins around age 18, although onset can occur at any point in someone's life. A person with bipolar 1 disorder will experience manic episodes that are present for at least 7 days and can be so severe that the person may require hospitalization. The person may also experience major depressive episodes or symptoms, although some people with bipolar 1 may only experience mania without any depression. A person with bipolar 2 disorder will experience episodes of both major depression and hypomania. The symptoms of hypomania are the same as mania, but they are less severe and only last up to 4 days rather than a week. Cyclothymia can begin as early as 6 years of age and may eventually develop into bipolar 1 or 2. A person with cyclothymic disorder will experience hypomanic and depressive symptoms, but never to the extent that they qualify as mania or major depression. There is no single cause of bipolar disorder, but research shows that it may be related to several factors, such as genetics, a person's environment, and brain structure. It is common for people with bipolar disorder to have other mental health diagnoses, such as psychosis, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, or a substance or alcohol use disorder. Bipolar disorder is a lifelong mental health condition, but with the help of treatment provided by a licensed mental health professional, it is possible to reduce and manage the symptoms. Bipolar disorder is usually treated with a combination of medication and psychotherapy. If you or someone you know has bipolar disorder, don't be afraid to ask for help, and remember to be patient. Treatment takes time, and it is important to stick with it to feel better and enjoy a healthy life. If you're a mental or behavioral health provider seeking information on evidence-based treatment, check out our multimedia solution for continuing education and shareable patient resources at psychhelp.com.
The thing with bipolar disorder is that a lot of people tend to play it off as it's just depression or you just hyper, almost like you just have too much energy. Like you ever see somebody in your class who that's really annoying and they just comes off as like they just always want attention. But it's usually just you have like this increase of energy, and because you have an increase of energy that you can only last for like a day or two, it comes off so excessive because they're usually always in a low place after those like 2 days of high energy. I'm better than my presentation. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a brain disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity levels, and can interfere with the ability to carry out day-to-day tasks. As mentioned in the video, there are 3 different types of bipolar disorder. The first one is bipolar 1 disorder. This is manic or mixed episodes that last 7 days, or by symptoms that are so severe the person needs immediate hospital care. For example, if you go into a manic episode, let's just say it's almost as if you try to kill yourself. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw somebody on the side of the road and they going crazy and they talking to themselves and just doing crazy stuff, or like they might just walk into traffic, something like that. Because in their mind they're not in the right space, and because they're not in the right space, they're doing things almost to try to. It's almost like the voices inside their head are telling them to do things that will make them feel better, but it's usually going to lead to them hurting themselves. Usually depressive episodes occur. I don't know if anybody has ever experienced depression, but from personal experience, I've had depression. I was like in high school and stuff. I've never had depression to the point where it was I need to go to the hospital. But when it comes to bipolar disorder, like it gets super duper severe. Like I don't know if you ever saw people like they don't shower, they don't eat, they can't get up. Like it gets extremely severe. When people enter that stage, they have to go to the hospital because it's like they're really not taking care of themselves, that they're not getting the nutrients they need, and because they can't take care of themselves, they have to go. They need people to do stuff like that for them. Bipolar 2 disorder is a pattern of depressive episodes and hypomaniac episodes, not full-blown manic or mixed episodes. To explain this one better, when it comes to depressive episodes, it could be you wake up in the morning at 10 o'clock and you're having a great day. You shower, you had breakfast, you had a fruit, you had a smoothie, you're having a great day. By 11 o'clock, you're down. You don't know why you're down, but you're just down. And then 1 o'clock, happy again. 2 o'clock, down again. That's what it is. Unspecified bipolar disorder. This is diagnosed with symptoms of illness that exist but do not meet the diagnostic criteria of either bipolar 1 or bipolar 2. Symptoms are clearly out of a person's normal range of behavior. When it comes to unspecified bipolar disorder, this one is a little bit different just because you can't necessarily categorize it. So it would be like, well, this person isn't extremely crazy, like they're not doing things to hurt themselves, but they're also not doing like the bare minimum that would put them in the position to just be bipolar 2, because bipolar 1 is the worst one in this case. Psychothymatic disorder can be thought of as a mild form of bipolar disorder, live at least half their lives in a very good mood or a very bad mood, which can cause distress, but it's not as severe as bipolar 1, bipolar 2, or major depression. For psychosomatic disorder, if you're living half your life, we just say, you do 6 months off, 6 months on. So from January to whatever month is the 6th month of the year, you're extremely happy. And then for the rest of the year, you're extremely sad. This one can also come off as seasonal depression. I know people should know about that, but it's like you're happier when it's hotter outside and you're sad when it's cold outside. Symptoms of bipolar disorder include increased energy or overactivity, elevated, expansive, or extremely irritable moods. Mood lasts for days, not hours. Can be easily irritated or angered. Lack of inhibitions, hypersexual, excessive involvement in destructive behaviors, grandiose thinking and delusions, need for less sleep, or rapid thinking. Some of the risk factors, well, 3 risk factors that come in bipolar disorder are genetics, environmental, and co-occurring conditions. Genetics plays a major role in a lot of mental health disorders because our parents, unfortunately, do pass down the things that they have, like bipolar disorder. It also can come from schizophrenia because parents pass that down as well, and anxiety. When it comes to environmental risk factors, it's kind of like what I said earlier about 6 months on, 6 months off. You're happier in the summer because it's hot, the flowers, whatever makes you happy. And when in the winter, the trees are losing their leaves, you get sad. Co-occurring conditions, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, ADHD, or other health problems. So if you have anorexia, because you have anorexia, this can lead to having mood swings because, I don't know, you're very sad because you can't gain weight, or it's like pre-thinking can kind of lead to it. In other health disorders like ADHD, it's almost like disorders, like the disorders kind of coexist with each other, and when you have one, you tend to have the other one. Treatment for bipolar disorder include, I'm gonna go through all the slides individually, but I'm gonna say what they are. You have mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, and you have antidepressants. For mood stabilizers, you have stuff such as lithium, I'm gonna skip some of these words. Zyprexia, Depakote, you have some of these things that stabilize your moods. Like if you're a person who's just extremely angry, you would take something that would make you calm down. Antipsychotics have to do with your mental state. So like let's say that you have delusions. If you have delusions, you would take things that will lessen your delusions. Like I said, I'm gonna mess up these words. So like risperidone, olanzapine, stuff like that. And then you have antidepressants. Antidepressants help with your mood again. They help you get out of a sad state of mind. You have Zoloft, which is kind of common when they sell on the streets, under the table, and stuff like that. Treatments can also be therapy or well, it falls under the same thing, but therapy, you have cognitive behavioral therapy, and you have psychoeducation. When it comes to cognitive behavioral therapy, a patient learns to change harmful or negative thoughts on behaviors. When it comes to psychoeducation, a patient is educated on living with bipolar disorder. Psychoeducation is a little bit different because it's not really helping you change the behavior, it's just kind of helping you to adapt to what life with having bipolar disorder would be like. You also have family-focused therapy because, like I said, it's a genetic disorder and it can be passed down. So because it can be passed down, you would do with your family members to kind of see where the link is tied. Interpersonal and social rhythm therapy. A patient learns to manage relationships and day-to-day living, hoping to normalize their daily routine. Also striving for a strong sleep schedule helps protect against manic episodes. Again, all these things don't necessarily get rid of the disease, but it helps people to learn how to live with it. And I have one more video. Oh, it's not moving.
When you're ready to begin treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia,
It's still not moving.
So it just because it's full screen on the.
On the PowerPoint. It's not working.
Also could be like, because it's full screen here. So maybe full screen. Or, oh, is it the extended view?
Mm,
Like sometimes you drag it over. Any other tech people here?
I'll just show them the video from the It's my glass. They probably can't. If the sound plays.
I say we just skip the video.
Yeah. That was my last thing anyway.
He's been doing that every
Yeah, it's
But-
fine.
Do you guys have any questions about the disorder before
No,
I go?
girl, I think I got her.
Nah, you did good though.
You can go to Dr. Hunt and have that. looked
Good
at.
job, good job.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Are you presenting today? Are you?
We already presented.
Okay. You can. I'm not here on.
I'm gonna do it Tuesday.
Okay.
Come on.
Get some
I'm
snacks.
standing in front of classes.
Oh yeah, you want to plug into your
I don't know which lecture.
probably. It's the yellow. Yellow, 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 yellow.
What you doing?
I think it's this one.
It had that lid on the bottom.
I can't see.
Justine has to register still.
Is that registered?
No, I don't think I got it.
I see one.
Where?
It's like.
My computer would have been plugged in.
Okay, not too much. Because if you're gonna fight, it's
Starting shit again.
yeah.
We on the same campus.
What I do best.
We on the same campus.
Without almost everything.
What if you turned it on?
I did turn it in. It's the second one. Because I turned it.
Let's do that. Yeah. See, I always know back up to the back up.
Just
Back up, back up,
Do
back
you have it registered?
What you still going?
Registered?
He's rapping.
up. Back up.
You're
Come on.
How do you say that?
Alright, Slim Shady.
You gotta sing
There's not registered.
Tribe Called Quest.
Can you-
Charcoal Quest.
I am recognizing that the voices in my head are trying to be myself and never follow someone else because opinions are like voices. I never follow different council members.
Don't look at me. I don't know that.
You guys, Tribe Called Quest from the 80s. So I don't think you remember.
You're not that
Well,
old.
remember, we wasn't there.
Oh, shit. When were you all born?
2004.
4.
Whoa.
We're young then.
Was you 2?
30.
3? Talking about some whoa.
Whoa.
Like,
Whoa.
Not too much.
I don't think he's 2.
Why?
All the way at the bottom?
R-A.
I tell you what I did.
I turn mine in.
That. Right?
Yeah, I said it's the second one though.
Did I pick the wrong one?
I think so. Yeah, you did. It's this one. Yeah. Wow.
What's up now? I think we'll finish it before the computer dies over there.
They don't gotta see.
They don't have to see. It is an in-person class. We all know that. This guy likes to go to billow smoke in the car.
Who? Bro, that was the fog machine. Like I was trying to tell you, I went to that porn party and I had to see what it was.
He fogged his whole car up and you couldn't see your hand in front of you.
That was so embarrassing, bro. I'm like, nah, he should walk past my car.
Hot box to no end.
I was about to say, talking about that was from the phone. He ain't stupid.
I had to see if the machine works.
I hope you guys have a good video.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
Nah, you
watch
gotta
it on
stay for
YouTube.
mine.
You're gonna watch it on YouTube.
No, I wasn't going to find me too.
He wants you to.
Nah, you gotta stay for mine since I stay for yours. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. I ain't been to class in like 3 or 4 weeks and you gonna leave.
Whose fault is that? You haven't been to class.
Okay, borderline personality disorder.
This is a good one too.
My name is Malia.
This is the best diagnosis out of all of them.
I'm already knowing.
Yes. Okay.
I died a couple. Okay, next one. Do I tap?
Oh,
I can tap it.
This one, sorry.
Oh, you
Yeah.
supposed to be in control.
I can.
Okay.
This is a significant diagnosis, by the
What is it? Borderline personality disorder is a mental health disorder distinguished by a persistent pattern of instability in interpersonal relationships, self-image, and emotion. Individuals with bipolar disorder frequently have powerful and unpredictable emotions and inflated view of self-destructive actions, a fear of abandonment, and intense and unstable relationships.
way. Next.
How does it come upon people? Borderline personality disorder is thought to be a result of a combination of genetic, environmental, and neurobiological variables. Genetic. Individuals with a family history of bipolar disorder are more likely to get the disorder themselves. According to the research, twin studies have also revealed a genetic influence on BPD. When opposed to fraternal twins who share approximately 50% of their genetic material, identical twins have a greater consistency rate for BPD. Environmental. Childhood trauma, abandonment, psychology, why do I can't figure out how to say this thing? Psychological, there we go, foul, or physical abuse, and chaotic family environments are all examples of early life experiences. Neurobiological, BPD is linked to structural and functional changes in the brain. Neurotransmitters that govern mood and emotions, such as serotonin, may possibly play a role in BPD. This is like the things in your brain. You got dopamine, you got serotonin. Can this move?
I wish.
And
I can
then
shrink it.
that's called
Norepinephrine?
Yep, there we go. You got alertness, concentration, and satisfaction. Wow.
Next.
How can it impact someone's life? You have impulsive behaviors, fear of abandonment, and difficulty with work or school. Bipolar disorder can cause impulsive, risky actions such as unsafe sex, reckless driving, or substance addiction. This can have major implications such as legal troubles, health challenges, or financial difficulties. Self-image. People who suffer from this condition have a flawed self-image and may believe they are essentially imperfect or
Uh-oh, there goes the new word.
worthless. This might result in extreme self-loathing and worsening feelings of loneliness. This ain't gonna move for real.
I'm gonna shrink it down even more.
Yeah. There we go. Fear of abandonment. Some people are afraid of being abandoned or alone. Even something seemingly innocent, such as a loved one getting home late, might cause extreme worry. The following can lead to desperate attempts to keep the other person close. So basically, they don't want to be alone. You know, like sometimes somebody will call you and say, "Oh, I'm gonna be home at 1," and then they get home at 1:30. People with this disorder would do anything when you walk in the door to try to get you to stay longer because they fear abandonment. Chronic feelings of emptiness. People with BPD frequently describe feeling empty, as if there is a gap or a hole inside of them. They may try to fill the void with drugs, food, or sex, but nothing feels completely satisfactory. Difficulty with work or school. Individuals with BPD may struggle to keep a steady job or perform well in school due to their emotional instability and aggression. What's a good treatment plan? You got lifestyle changes, self-care activities such as routines for physical activity, a diet that is nutritious, adequate sleep, and stress management strategies can improve overall mental well-being. Building a supportive network. Creating a supportive network or friends, family, and loved ones can provide extra emotional support and aid through difficult times. Co-occurring condition treatment. Managing any co-occurring mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, etc. So like you have to deal with depression, you have to deal with your anxiety, you have to deal with having the bipolar disorder before you can deal with the overall disorder of BPD, because at the end of the day, that's gonna stick to you more than depression would. It's like all of them mixed together. So if you have that double, just imagine how somebody feels. It is essential to talk with a mental health expert, such as a psychiatrist or psychologist, in order to develop a personalized plan of therapy that is tailored to your specific requirements and conditions. These pictures is basically like this demonstration of what to do to help you with BPD. You got consider a creative career path, build your self-knowledge, find a supportive and flexible environment, avoid stressful situations, continue your mental health, and then again, the same thing as bipolar disorder, you have psychotherapy. What is its cons? Functioning with personality disorder brings several hardships and difficulties. Psychological insecurity, social challenges, self-perception, identity concerns, detrimental actions, suicidal thoughts, stigma, and misunderstandings are just a few of the potential imperfections of BPD. Despite these roadblocks, it is vital to remember that with adequate medication, assistance, and care for oneself, people with BPD may live satisfying and worthwhile lives. Receiving expert support and participating in therapy can help manage BPD symptoms and improve someone's overall state of mind. How can you be a good friend to someone with BPD? You can research and educate yourself on the disorder, voice your support when they get help, be an active listener and validate their feelings, because a lot of people don't feel validated. And that's like probably the main thing I say college people go through. You don't feel validated within your friend group or with the people you're talking to. Take any and all threats of self-harm seriously. And then this is basically a conversation between two friends. One has BPD, and then this is another one. Like I think somebody making a joke on their friend having BPD, but doing it in a friendly type of way. Overview. Borderline personality disorder is a disorder of the mind that affects how you form opinions about yourself as well as others, producing difficulties in daily life. It involves concerns with self-esteem, difficulties coping with feelings and conduct, and a history of relationships that are not stable. You have a strong fear of abandonment or instability if you have borderline personality disorder, which means you may find it tough to tolerate being lonely. Although you desire to have meaningful and long-lasting connections, inappropriate rage, recklessness, and continual alterations in mood might drive others away. Borderline personality disorder typically manifests itself during early adulthood. The problem appears to be worse in young adulthood and may improve within age. And then you can play the video. It's only 56 seconds long, y'all. I'm not on that.
Look at that, right at 3:25.
How long we gotta be presented for?
10 minutes.
First one is something called identity confusion. People
All
who
right,
have
that's good
borderline
enough.
personality disorder struggle to understand who they are. This can get really confusing in relationships. The next major problem area is impulsivity. If you are experiencing an emotion or a thought, it's very easy for you to act on it, and it's very hard for you to put the brakes on it. Related to that, your emotions can feel like they're going up and down. People who have borderline personality disorder Their emotions quickly charge up and they're very slow to come down. And because of all of this stuff, you see a lot of problems with relationships, with your friends, with your family, with romantic relationships. When we have borderline personality disorder, someone has all of these problems, they've had all of these problems for a long period of time, and it's really making it difficult to live their lives.
What are the signs and symptoms of BPD?
First one is something called identity.
No, it's not about it. I don't think that was a part of it.
I know.
But
Start scrolling on the reels.
that's it.
All right,
Question.
thank you.
I was just looking at the sign next to the, I could wait, I could just wait. Yeah, just wait, I could just wait. Go ahead, Diddy.
Well, you gonna ask him a question? Yeah, but I got a couple questions too.
Uh-oh,
Wait, I don't know what's wrong.
I know, now
So
it
they're not
sounds.
bad questions, they're about social. It's really nothing.
It's about one of our classes. It's not nothing. That has to do.
It's about social.
I was only asking because I'm a social worker.
I know, right? Now you got us all interested.
I'm a social work major as well.
We got a case, we just doing a case right now.
Yeah, and I see that sign upstairs,
Oh,
substance abuse social worker, is that like, do they have like cases for that too?
Broken out. I'm sure you look them online. Are you going to use that for your?
No, I was just asking, cause one of my cases, it's kind of like physical abuse.
Right, Karen's, I heard about her case, that's right.
yeah, the Smith
Yeah,
case.
we need help with it though.
All
I
right.
got some questions about that.
Yeah,
not staying for years.
we
Oh.
need help with it though. We got some questions about it.
She's making it for real. You got 10 days to write that crap up.
Mm-hmm.
She has the whole packet, the assessment, the
I know.
questions,
I know.
it's the whole case.
It's gonna be a real, it's like we be doing it.
The dude with one tooth and there's no toothbrush in the house and.
Oh yeah, that protecting our child.
All right, let's do it.
It's a big old package.
Let's do it.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh yeah, your computer? Dude.
Okay.
Does it work?
Oh, yeah. Got the 8th
Nice, okay, all right. No more Beyonce.
Which one we grab? This it? Wait, what's that?
Beyonce's dancer noticed a malfunction on the dress where he took her hand to fix the issue without missing a beat.
Oh, that's the camera, y'all.
Watch it die before you're done too, this will be safe.
Is these just questions?
It's the wrong thing. I need this.
Do you? Oh
It's like when you're answering questions.
What?
Okay.
They want you all to write the case up
Yes,
Hey,
right.
my phone.
Now, we printed it out.
for Child Protective Services. Sounds scary.
I don't know.
You
No
know about-
test.
You know about that Ohio, what's that thing?
He came in here, we're going. You remember the girl that came here for Ohio State?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going.
holy shit.
Yes, I can't wait. We're going
It's next Sunday.
We leave Sunday, we come back Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I was not playing.
Partay.
We're going.
All right.
Eviction here, pay attention.
Beyonce.
Devontae, get it right. Get it
You
right.
said Davion.
Yeah. All right, hello, class.
It's gone.
Oh, shit. Oh, there it
You
is.
see how, let me just, yeah. All right. Hello, class. How y'all doing today? My time started now. 2:30. All right. How y'all doing today?
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing all right. You feel me? Getting over a little flu. It's just the flu. But
Just
I'm gonna be doing addiction. My name is Devontae. Y'all know me as Dede. All right, so I'm going to be talking about these things, basically what addiction is, and with this presentation, I'm going to be leading addiction into how it affects your relationship with your parents. So I'm going to have some helpful ways. I'm going to say what social work policy plays a role, because we're social workers. We have to look at the policies, and then I'm going to look at them stigma and co-occurrences and all that, So what is addiction? The definition that I looked up on Google is the fact or conditions of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. So you could be addicted to anything, which is you could be addicted to drinking water, You could be addicted to talking smack. You could be addicted to eating food. You know, you could be addicted to anything. You know, or you could be addicted to illegal things. Y'all know what them is.
That's what I would
Yeah. So, effects drugs has on parenting. So, you're going to get neglected as a child. You're going to either get abused, inconsistent parenting, role modeling, and legal consequences. So, to go deeper into that, a lot of people that have kids that a lot of people that are addicted to like crack or cocaine and stuff have kids and they just like never be a good parent. Like you'll like if you know when we was in middle school and all that, we'll see those kids that just the reflection of their parents. For real, if you really think about it, you can tell who parents really cares about them and who parent doesn't. Even in school, you can tell by the uniforms, you can tell by all that. I'm not saying a lot of people gotta have money, but the parent meetings, we see them people's parents, so we know that stuff. So it's a lot of type of stuff that goes on, and then abuse. That also happens a lot with these cases because they might be mad because they ain't got their crack money. So they're going to take it out on little Timmy because he start crying, he hungry. But you spend his little food money on some crack, So that's not good. And then, all the other stuff it lays into with the other two. Like, it's not a good role model, inconsistent. And then, like, you're going to get your kids to get that be found out. Like, don't, So, yeah. So, types of drugs typically used. So, we got the main ones, which is, marijuana, alcohol, pills, and all that. But this is like the smart names for it and stuff like that. So that's the real names and all that. So like we got cannabis, inhalants, narcotic, analgesics, dissociative, anesthetics, hallucinogens,
mushrooms and LSD.
I knew that. And then CSN stimulants, and then CNS depressants. So those are like the main ones that are typically used. Like we probably know them as different names and all that though. Like he just said shrooms and all that, mushrooms and all that, cocaine, Yeah, marijuana. So some long-term effects are physical health problems, mental health issues, financial problems, legal problems, and relationship problems. So to tackle physical health problems, numerous physical health issues, including heart diseases, liver damage, respiratory issues, and infections, can be brought on by drug usage. These health issues can impede a parent's ability to work, take care of their family, and enjoy life because they can linger long after they cannot linger long after drug use has stopped. So, mental health issues. Drug use can also result in mental health issues like schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety. These mental health conditions can be challenging to manage and limit a parent's capacity to provide for their family, uphold relationships, and carry out everyday tasks. Financial problems. Drug use may be costly, and parents who struggle with addictions might find themselves moving funds from essentials like food, shelter, and healthcare to fund their drug use. Financial hardships may result from this, which may have an effect on the well-being of kids who depend on their parents for support. A lot of kids can't make money on their own when they like 5, 6. They really don't know how. So the parents is the only people that can really consume for them and all that. So legal problems. Legal issues such as arrest and jail can result from drug use. These legal problems may be lasting effects on parents' abilities to find work and housing, as well as their capacity to raise their children. When you're on drugs and all that, like I said, you can't really raise your children because you worry about raising that high. You worry about getting high all the time. You're not worried about what your kid is doing. And that shows, and that's really sad, especially from where I come from. In my neighborhood, there's a lot of crackheads and people around that supply the crack, and there's people that do the crack. And I'm just seeing it every day, like behind my house, I'll be seeing the plays happening and all that because it's a drug house right behind my house. I'll be seeing the crackheads waiting at the garage door, knocking on it and all that. We got a little motion light and we got cameras, so we be seeing it. And it's just sad. It's really sad out here. Like, and then, and then I got a
High Street.
Yeah. Hey, High Street. I don't know. But I got this neighbor, her parents are unfortunately addicted to that. And I'm just seeing her get shifted around everywhere to legal custody of their mom, their grandma, and all that. And she's missing out on her childhood, if we're being honest. She got no siblings. She's the only one. She's missing out on her childhood, and that's really sad. It's really sad. So it's like that a lot of places everywhere. So relationship problems. Relationships with family family, friends, and loved partners may suffer from a result of drug uses. Healthy relationship with the children may be challenging for parents who battle addictions, which can have long-term physiological and emotional effects for both the parent and the child. If you really think about it, addiction plays a big part in psychology. It's with the mind, and it's how you think. Like, you think you need that, you think you want it. Like, it's not like you can fight against that stuff. There's ways to fight it, but the mind wins the battle a lot of times when it comes to recovery and people trying to get off drugs and stuff. So some treatment. Inpatient or residential treatment, outpatient treatment, behavioral therapy, medication, and last and foremost, support groups. Now, I would say you can use support groups for a lot of things, and one of them is addictions. You know, a lot of people wish to go to support groups and stuff to talk about what they did and compare and contrast their experiences to other people's. And if you really think about it, a lot of people share the same experiences when they're addicted to drugs, even if it's different drugs. Like, one person could be addicted to crack while the other one is addicted to marijuana. But at the end of the day, you're still spending your last on that, you know? And yes, you can be addicted to marijuana. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying it's as bad or as good as a different one, but you could be addicted to that too. What policy plays a role? So, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, also known as SAMSA policies. Affordable Care Act, which is, it's also known as Obamacare. A lot of us are familiar with that. So it has provisions that expand access to addiction treatment services as well. A lot of us had them Obama phones. I know I did.
Indeed.
You know, had to track.
First
I see Obama.
Man. So we got parity laws. Parity laws aim to ensure that insurance coverage for mental health and substance use disorders is comparable to coverage for physical health conditions. So a lot of the stuff with drugs, it's also mental, but it's also physical. If you think about it, like a lot of people that do like heroin and all that, they get real skinny. They get real like, they just get real, you know, ugly. I ain't gonna lie. So drug courts. Drug courts are specialized court programs that aims to divert individuals with substance use disorders away from the traditional criminal justice system and into treatment. That's a very important one because it's trying to get them out of that and get them into treatment. It's providing help. And we got the harm reduction policies. Harm reduction policies focus on minimizing the negative consequences associated with substance use. And last but not least, we got prevention and educational initiatives. Social work policies also emphasize prevention and education and address addiction. These policies work together to address addiction from various angles, including prevention, treatment, recovery support, and harm reduction. Stigma. So, drug use by a parent carries a lot of shame because it's frequently seen as a branch of social norms and parental in their children. The stigma attached